And we're back. Hello. I've got to say, I mean, I know I've heard a lot of you guys talk about how, especially people like Tiger Walker, about how it's been so long since we've had a live stream. To me, it feels like it's been about 5 minutes ago, I'll be honest, that I was streaming those international games. But we are back, and it is the preseason challenge between the Sharks and the Warriors. It's actually just down the road from where I live. I was tempted to go. I actually did not realize it was at Shark Park. For some reason, I thought it was somewhere else. But anyway, the good thing is that means that I'm here, and we've got some good teams. We've got some genuinely good teams that we're watching today, which wasn't always the case with trial matches. Before it became the preseason challenge, it was really not even reserve grade. It was often 50% reserve grade, and then one level below that was the rest of the team. But there's a lot of NRL talent we're going to see on display today, so it's very, very good stuff, and I'm excited. I mean, obviously, it's just rugby league. It's rugby league. We've got it back. Tug's music's a bit loud. Yes. So this is the thing. I said a community post about this earlier this week. My laptop, my ever reliable laptop, is stuffed up again. So the fact that this stream is even happening is a bit of a technological miracle. I've like had to move my entire setup. I'm borrowing a laptop from someone else. I had to like change all my settings and stuff. All the graphics that you're seeing on screen, the ones you're used to, I had to like remake them because I couldn't get them off my old laptop. So we'll see how it goes, but it should all be okay. I saw Astronomy says, where can I watch it? On Fox. I don't think it's shown on 9, but I won't be showing it myself. I can't. I would get sued. But this is a watch-along stream, so it's like you're watching the game with a mate. That's the idea. Red Vodcast, good to see you back, my friend. Dan Atco going to be player of the preseason. He's the kind of guy that could be, and that's obviously quite exciting for you, having signed him for next season. But yeah, he's the kind of guy who, against opposition that isn't quite NRL standard, he could have a lot of joy, I reckon, in attack. So Tiger Walker's realized that the points are a different font. It's true. As I said, I had to remake everything from the start. Should be all back to normal in a bit. I'm not too sure completely when my laptop will be fixed, but we'll see, because it is all on there. Up the Sharky says, where did Aden Fanua-Blake go? Obviously to the Sharks, but I take it that's not what you mean. I'm not sure. Is he playing? I haven't actually had a really good look at the team list. I know Braden Hamlin-Ueli's playing. The AFB isn't, but the one I'm excited to see is obviously James Fisher-Harris, who is. The fact that he's playing in a game like this when really he doesn't need to be. He's got Vegas coming up. He's got the All-Stars, which has been named in today as well. He's really like, he's going all out, which is awesome for a guy who is as established as him. To do all that. Astronomy, what time does it start? It starts at 7:30. Lots of people in the chat. If I don't read all the messages, sorry, I'm trying to get through all of them, but that's it's good to see so many people here for just a preseason game. Tiger, I really like your content across the preseason. Those of you who haven't watched Tiger Walker's content, it's getting better and better every video. So yeah, he's a long-term viewer of this channel, and you should definitely watch him because he knows his stuff. He's pretty good. Green Cobra, good to see you back, my friend. And Up the Cows, there's another viewer from last year. Tex missed the footy so much. I mean, is it much of a surprise for me to say that I did as well? Although I don't know, like I kind of felt that this off season wasn't that bad. I don't know. Normally I find them longer. So, I mean, let me know what you guys think. Was it as tough as ever for you guys? But I guess, I don't know, maybe I was just distracted by other things. Doesn't feel like all that long ago we had those international games. JR Pete, Jet Cleary is indeed playing. This will be the first time we see him on television. He's listed on the reserves list for the Warriors, but he will feature in the game. Obviously, with the trials, you're never really sure how long the first grade players are going to be playing for. Could be like 20 minutes, half an hour. And that's when we'll start to see the guys like Jet Cleary come in. TX Rail says, nonetheless, who will win tonight? I think the Warriors have named the strongest side, but both sides are reasonably good. The big thing is that the Sharks haven't named Nico Hines or Adam Fanua-Blake, who are their two most high-profile guys. Or Blake Brayley, for example. I think Jaden Beryl is starting at hooker. So I would expect the Warriors, but once those first-grade guys go off, as I say, it's hard to judge the reserve-grade players against each other and their relative strength. So, yeah. MD8 says, the league, I started watching you at the near end of 2024. You make good content. I was intrigued to see your live streaming. Hopefully the Rugby League World Cup adds 6 more teams. Yes, well, thank you first. But yeah, I definitely lost a lot of hope for that fight. It was nice that we had a little bit of a groundswell of support for that at the time. But yeah, it has died out, and it will just sort of go ahead, I think, as planned. But the important thing from my perspective was that I think those videos I made changed a lot of minds about the importance of International Rugby League and where we're actually at with it. So it was nice to achieve that, definitely. Tommy the Goat says, up the Sharkies. Yeah, there was a lot of Tom Hazelton love in our streams last year. We're a big Tommy Hazelton fan base, so you'll definitely find a lot of love for that here. Cobra, all good. We'll see you later. MD8 going on the radio to address it took guts. Yeah, thanks. It was... I never told this story, but that was the 3rd consecutive day I was trying to get on the radio. The other 2 days, like, I got up early in the morning. I had all my points ready. I was sat with my microphone ready to record. And I didn't get on the first 2 days. Then the 3rd day I did. But that was fun. As I say, it was just a way of spreading the message, really. So... Very Forecast says Blake Laurie still better than Tom Hazelton. That's unpopular. Look, very different players. Hazelton is a prolific try scorer. Blake Laurie is Blake Laurie. I do like Blake Laurie a lot, though. Tiger says, surely you upload the Tiger season preview on Feb 14th just for tradition. Yeah, I'm not actually too sure how I'm going to handle the previews. I don't think I'll do a video per club. I might condense it into all like one big video, which would be like the longest video I've ever made. But I think that's a better way of like getting everyone to watch it. Whilst if you do it like club by club, like once you do a team like the Titans, I know I've criticized the Titans a lot lately. I'll go someone else. A club like the Raiders, not many people that aren't Raiders fans are going to watch it. So I'll see. But I've got genuinely, guys, so many videos that are like on the precipice right now that like I've written. I just, with the laptop thing, haven't been able to make them, but good videos. Today, you'll have seen that the All-Stars teams were named. I've got a lot to say about that. It's actually like I've waited almost a whole year to make a video on the All-Stars game. And yeah, so that's going to be a good one. So like genuinely, I've got all that to do, and then previewing the season. There's a lot to come from my channel before the season starts. Just got to find a way to condense it all in. Lancaster says, I'm super curious to see Jet Cleary. I think we all are. Poor guy will need to be something special, else we'll get crushed by the comparisons. Also, he was in my brother's class. All right, do you have any, or does your brother have any insight into him as a player? Because I think me, like most people, haven't really watched him before. I've gone out of my way to see highlights videos and stuff, and I've heard the Rugby League Guru talk a lot about him. But yeah, it's very hard with a guy like him. I don't think he could ever live up to that expectation if people have the expectation that it'll be like his brother or even his dad. His dad was a very good player, so we'll see. But look, we're not going to see the best of him in a preseason trial game, in his first game against, you know, men at the very top level. But it is exciting. I mean, the Warriors, looking forward, I'm curious as to what their halves plan is. Guys like Luke Metcalf, Tamari Martin, and Chanel Harris-Tavita are all mid-20s. None of them have really jumped out of the ground as like high-quality NRL halves. Maybe Jet Cleary is part of their long-term plan, but only time will tell. Tiger says, Leagy, I've got a question. Who is Danny's uncle? Don't worry, I've done my revision. I actually did forget, and then I was like, earlier today, I was like, someone's going to ask me who his uncle is. Sam Walker. Kobe, no, I'm not going to show the match. I can't. I would get sued. It's a watch-along stream. There, guys. Andrew Voss's voice. How good is it? We're actually fully back now. We are fully back. Can I just say, this Warriors strip with the white shorts and the white shirt. Whew. The Warriors know their way around a jersey. They know their way around a jersey. That's outrageous stuff from them. I love it. Rossi is back, Arlo. Absolutely. Good to see you here as well, my friend. Lancaster says, ask my brother, I'm so sad though I work night shifts. Basically never catch a Thursday or Friday match. No. I'm sorry, because those are always obviously the best games. Those are the peak time slots. So, damn, that's a shame. You'll be able to watch them on replays though if you manage to avoid the scores. MD8, I missed the commentating. Had to play some Rugby League Live 3. My condolences that you had to unironically play Rugby League Live 3. No, in all seriousness, I play it and I like it. The commentary on Rugby League Live 3, some of it is awful. Awful. Anyway, though, I will focus on the game. Obviously, so Roger Tuivasa-Sheck has been a late withdrawal. I was excited to see him on the wing, and I was listening to Andrew Webster pre-game. I think there's been rumors that RTS was going to play fullback, and although Webster wasn't trying to give away anything, I think he kind of did, because he referred to Charnzico Klukstad and Tain Torpiki as his fullbacks, rather than including RTS in that conversation as well. So I think the plan is probably RTS on the wing for this year to replace Marcelo Montoya, and then I would imagine, his name's escaping me, the young centre that re-signed this off-season, someone can remind me, will be one centre and Roccoberry being the other centre, which will be a decent little backline for them. Red Vodka says, Leaguey, can we get a St. George chant? You know, if I got a St. George chant going, you know, in fact, I think you would screen record and be like, oh yeah, I know who the Leaguey supports. We called him, guys. We called him. JRP says, up the Sharkies. The Wires need to say something about this unspeakable, diabolical act of plagiarism. Yes. No, that's an absolutely brilliant clip of commentary. I love that. That were diabolical. Okay, so the Warriors walking out. Curious to see the crowd. I mean, it is the first of the trial games, but it is still a trial game. Oh, good on you, Arlo, meeting SJ at the Pacific Championships. That's very cool. Kurt, good to see you as well. Decent little crowd there. Looks like some people have turned up. Obviously, Cronulla do tend to sell out that venue, though it's not a big one. And Fisher Harris, yes, looking up at the sky, taking it all in. As the Sharks come out, there's big Tommy Hazelton. There's our man. There's big Tommy. Like I said, Shark Park, it's always going to sell out. Well, it hasn't now. I mean, I wouldn't have expected it to. But yes, obviously, it's the smallest venue of, the smallest main venue that any NRL team uses. Toastercrumb says, wait, did the Leaguey crack and tell everyone his favourite team? I did not. What are these blatant accusations? I did nothing of the sort. I wouldn't dream of that. Arlo says, my grandparents think you're funny. I do have quite like a kind of old man's level of like pop culture knowledge. So maybe that's why I resonate with your grandparents so much. Anyway, the first kickoff of the NRL, I guess you could call it, in 2025. Niwai Puru it is. And as I always do, I'll tell you when he hits the ball so that you can sync up with me if you want to. He's hit it. Now, there we are. Welcome to 2025, everyone. Tamari Martin nearly has a little bobble there, but gets it off to State of Origin forward Mitch Barnett. Him and Fisher Harris, not enough people are talking about that combination. And it is like, I mean, I understand with the Warriors, it's AFB out, JFH in, but Barnett and Fisher Harris together, as we see that man Fisher Harris dig into the line there, takes three Sharks to tackle him. Egan gets out. He's a man who I'm very excited to watch this year, Aaron Clark. I really liked him at the Titans, and now with Tohu Harris having retired, so I guess suddenly it'll be Aaron Clark in that 13 jersey. Either him or Dylan Walker, but I think it will be Aaron Clark. So him as a ball playing forward could really change the way the Warriors play. Kennedy now with a ball wrapped up by Egan, Barnett, and that man Aaron Clark. He's in my fantasy team, that's for sure, Aaron Clark. Lancaster says Fish by Net will be elite, a huge driver for their culture. Yep, absolutely. The more that they can base themselves around what James Fisher-Harris is going to bring to the team, the better. Absolutely. Tiger says, Mount Gravatt under 12s or Shanghai Sharks. Leaguey, who do you prefer? My answer, as always, is Amsterdam Cobras. As always. Goofy says, are either of these teams going full strength? Not quite, but the Warriors are close. The Warriors are genuinely quite close to full strength. Sharks a little less so, but a number of first grade players, that is for sure. And we've got an error from Ed Corsi, the man who's in for Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Right off the bat, look, if you're going to be making mistakes like that, preseason's when you want to be doing them, but Cronulla with an early attacking opportunity here. It was a good kick from Atkinson, long downfield. And it was a very simple catch. Jeez, you really couldn't ask for a better catch than that, but too much for Ed Corsi. Hunt says, if I super chat $10, can I have a mod? I'm not for sale, Hunt O's edits. No, I mean, I this was a whole thing last season where just like everyone wanted to be a mod. I did close off the mod stuff, but I appreciate it nonetheless. After Sharkies is Dutch, really? Do you live in Holland? Anyway, Sharks on the first, now across to Braden Hamlin-Uele, a man that I'm going to be watching closely this year because it looked like he was going to go to the Warriors as a bit of a trade for AFB, but then stayed at Cronulla. Struggled to make first grade at times last year. We'll see whether he can really nail down his spot this year. Couple of sixes again. We're still on the first. Barrel to Hazelton. It can't be. It is. It is. Jeez, you could not have scripted that any better. Oh my god, what is the referee wearing? Did you guys just see what the referee's wearing? The referee's in a Tigers jersey. Anyway, after hyping up Hazelton that much, and talking about how much we love Tom Hazelton here, he's the man. Okay, scoreboard. Now, this was something I struggled with at times last year, but we're off to a good start. I remembered that time to update the scoreboard. Just a short ball, and look at the momentum he had. Just digs in behind the ruck there. Gets to the line. That was good stuff. For the man who is linked with the Newcastle Knights at the moment, apparently he's either he did meet with them or is set to meet with them. I can't remember. Could they? Is there a shout? Is there a shout of double movement? No, there's not. Try confirmed. I wouldn't have thought that was double movement, but there was a grounding before, but no, momentum got him there. Absolutely. Lancaster says the biggest advantage the Wars have is that they're the only team, aside from the Titans, who are like 50% NZ, who could understand Fisher's commands without a translator. Very true, as Daniel Atkinson takes the conversion, easy as you like. Makes it 6-0. So the Warriors, I believe, were favourites for this game. They're certainly named the strongest side, but it's Cronulla. Early doors. Not a great start from the Wires at all, as Tiger Walker says. Up to Sharky's getting all emotional there in the chat. Very good stuff. Celebrate your heart out. It's been months and months. Months and months. Mary says, my grandparents think that Leaguey's a breath of fresh air. I agree. Thank you. I'm very glad to hear that. I've certainly tried to provide a different perspective on the NRL in my years so far. So Niwaipuru across. Is it Niwaipuru? Because there are two Purus. I hope I'm getting the right one. To Braden Hamlin-Uele. Like says, Leaguey, what do you think of me knowing what team you support? I prefer not to think about it, to tell you the truth. Good run there. Was it Jaden Beryl? No, it wasn't. Beryl was in at hooker. The Katoa, though, he cannoned into that line. Beryl's a guy who played in the Queensland Cup Grand Final a few years ago and had a lot of good raps on him. He's not a young guy. Yeah, 29, they've just said in commentary. But never really kicked on. Never quite kicked on. Yeah, okay, Tiger, good. Yeah, Niwai. I thought it was Niwai. Caught by Wateni Selesniak. The mullet in good shape. Good to see that survived the off-season. He wouldn't be the first player to do something absolutely outrageous with his hair across an off-season. Lancaster says, God, did you see those new rules, though? I just feel sorry for the refs. They're terrible changes and they're going to get reamed for it. We need to bring back 2 refs. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I thought there were no rule changes for this year. Is there something I've missed? I thought this was like the first year in ages that they haven't changed the rules. So the Warriors now kick there from Luke Metcalf, Sharks Jr., and it's going to be in goal. Geez, so not a good start at all for the Warriors, making an error through Ed Corsi on the catch, then conceding a try, and then once they do get through a set, they give away a 20-meter restart as Katoa bounces out of a few tackles. Atkinson across. Now, Mawene Hiroti, a man who... I used to work retail in a clothes shop, and in the middle of summer, it was around this time of year, he came into this clothes shop and asked me if we sell turtlenecks. And I just thought, the answer was no, but I thought to myself, it is like 40 degrees outside. Why could you possibly want a turtleneck? So there we go. Mawene Hiroti wears turtlenecks. Fun fact, this is the kind of thing you learn when you watch the league. Lancaster says there's several new things, such as defenders needing to wait for a go call from the whistleblower to advance, a ridiculous new obstruction interpretation, and a few others. I knew that there were changes in interpretations on existing rules, but I'm quite confident that I read there were no actual rule changes. What the difference is between a rule change and a change of interpretation, I don't know. That seems like a bit of a grey area. But yeah, I mean, look, we do say this at the start of every year that it's more and more for the referees. And believe me, like, you will not find someone who's more pro-referee than me. As we see a penalty given to the Warriors now. But what I will say is consistently they have shown an ability to adapt and execute the changes in the way that they're pretty much intended. Certainly it's never perfect, but the extent to which they do it poorly is massively overblown by fans and the media. So I back them. Up the Sharky says, I donate to you, but I'm a kid and my mum said no. That's fine. I never expect donations. Absolutely. Yeah, no expectation of that. In terms of paid stuff, could be some things coming this year. We'll see. I've got a few grand ideas, so we'll see. But I've always been about providing value for paid things, so we'll see how we go. We'll see. So the Warriors' first decent attacking opportunity of the game, though they've only got a couple of tackles left. Nickel Klukstad, big pass over the top. It was Wateni Selesniak who realized he was going to be bundled over the sideline. Put the ball way back in field, flung it in. Then the Sharks got it and were tackled into touch, but they've ruled that the player was held and then dragged over the sideline. He looks a little hurt there, DWZ. They would probably be inclined to get him off the field, I would think, given that it's just a trial. But yeah, I mean, he was being cannoned over the sideline there if he held the ball. Pete says they're going to be lenient on obstructions and crack down on play the ball tunneling. I think that's a good change, the play the ball thing. I also think they're reviewing what qualifies as a sin bin. Yeah, I heard about that, and that potentially we could be coming back like a long time after the high tackle for the sin bin, which I'm not a fan of, but I think that was something that's more proposed rather than something they're actually doing. Up to Sharky says, Leaky, can you give me and Tiger a shout out? I already gave Tiger a shout out. Up to Sharkies, do you make content? I'm curious. Hey Danny, good to see you here, my friend. So fourth tackle. Yeah, and there we go. DWZ is off the field. It doesn't surprise me at all to get him off there. Trying to figure out who's come on that wing. Caught there by Nickel Klukstad. So 10 minutes gone already. Metcalf in at dummy half. And here's the man that's new onto the field. Tain Torpiki. It is. Green Cobra says, how is the off-season? It's been good. It's been a quick off-season. That's the best kind of off-season to have, in my opinion. It's played there by Corsi, now across to Kurt Cable. Another guy who and he's dropped the ball. Disappointing for the Warriors there, coming out of their own end, and Cronulla with another opportunity. Anyway, as I was going to say, Catewall's another guy where, a few years ago, a player like Catewall, who's a veteran, who's a premiership winner, played Origin. No chance would you find him in a trial game. Absolutely no chance. I heard some whistles. Are they gonna... What's happening here? Ah, Blood Bin. I thought he was gonna challenge it. Do we have Captain's Challenge in trials? I assume we probably do. Lancaster says, what happens if the players don't hear the go, or what if the ref forgets, or the player's stuck? I mean, I doubt the ref will forget. In terms of hearing the go, that's a lot more likely, but what will happen is the players next to the referee in close proximity will hear, and then really, when you're on the wing, you're looking at your teammates. You're not necessarily listening out for the referee. But, see, it's stuff like that. That's just greater enforcement of the rules rather than actual changes, which to me is fine. So the Sharks now tackle 2, barrel in at dummy half. Gives it to Puru, who goes himself. A guy who, as Vossi has just mentioned, has been around for a number of these preseasons. Hamlin-Uele drops the ball, steps in on the inside. It's a double knock-on. Aaron Clark was not expecting that. It's the preseason. It's a beautiful thing. Now, Braden Hamlin-Uele is not Tom Hazelton. Can confirm. Could never do what Tom Hazelton could do. Danny, I'm very good. Thank you. How are you, my friend? Alice says, are you doing channel membership? If so, how much? No idea how much. And no idea if I'll even do a channel membership or something like... I don't know. But basically, my point is, got some pretty big ideas for this year. And basically looking at how I can make the content better. So we'll see how it is. But if any paid stuff ever comes, it's going to be pretty low. Yeah, nothing big at all. So don't worry too much about it. No donos yet, Cobra. No donos. But that's fine. I'm not here for that. I'm here for rugby league. I'm here for the people. I'm here for you. I'm here to watch some footy. That's what's important. And yes, other Sharkies, absolutely close to 5k subs. This offseason was huge for growth. It was, yeah, massive. Warriors going on the far side of the field there. Catewell does hold the ball that time. And Tomato Martin puts the ball up. I was listening to Webster pre-game about how... Oh, catch there by Torpiki out. Didn't give him enough credit. I thought he was going to get nowhere near that ball, so I started talking about something else. Anyway, a changeover. As I was saying, I was listening to Webster pre-game, and he was talking about how their halves are going to play this season, how it's going to be very, very different to like it was with Sean Johnson, because Johnson is a very dominant player, wants the ball the vast majority of the time. But whoever he names in the halves this season, whether it be any combination of Metcalf, Harris Tavita, Tomato Martin, and I think there's another one that I'm forgetting. Tanner Boyd, who they signed for the Titans. Whatever combination it is, they're going to play in tandem with one another. Almost as 6.5s rather than a 6 and a 7. You also have the 7 as the voice that's calling the shots, but they're very much going to share the load. And that is roughly what I would have expected when you've got halves that aren't quite as high quality as other teams. Good catch that time by Ed Corsi under quite a bit of pressure. And Lancaster, yeah, I mean, I would have thought that Tomato Martin would be the shoe-in for 7. That's what I thought all preseason. But Metcalf has the 7 on his back today, and Martin is in the 6, so... He did say, though, Webster, that he wasn't paying too much attention to the jersey on their backs. Good pass there from Metcalf, and we've got a penalty, have we? For an escort. Oh, Manhell without the ball. Very similar referee signal. Tiger says, B. Milner is your roommate. You've said that your roommate is a St Kilda fan in the AFL, and a vid on B. Milner's channel is a cameo vid from a St Kilda creator. Okay, that's going deep. Not quite. Well, I don't live with B. Milner anymore, but no, he's not the one that's the St Kilda fan. He's a Tigers fan, you'll be happy to know. So Warriors on the attack. Good passing there from Aaron Clark. They're through the hands. That was forward. Yeah. But see, that's what I was talking about. Aaron Clark is another ball player through the middle now. A guy they didn't really have that so much with Tohu. Tohu was a very good ball player for his size, but those quick hands, that's what Aaron Clark can provide. So that was promising. Although the execution was off, that was a promising play, I think. Lancaster says, speaking of having a bunch of 6.5s over a genuine 7, thoughts on Knights and stuff having and the stuff going on with Dylan Brown. I just can't see him going to the Knights. It's just hard for me to picture, but I really rate him as a player. I mentioned in a video this offseason that I had a feeling it was going to end up with the Warriors, and I'm surprised that they're not in these conversations more. Presumably they have a bunch of money that they can be spending on the halves. I mean, like Wade Egan is not going to command much money, neither is Chance. So I'm not too sure where that money is for the Warriors. I would have thought they'd have a big war chest to go after him. Whether he's a 7, look, I don't think he is right now, but also with Jerome Hughes and the impact that he's had, what a 7 is changing. It's becoming more free-flowing. It's becoming a little bit more unstructured. So could Dill Brown be a 7 in a few years' time? Absolutely. I see no reason why not. Cobra says, do you want a donor? I mean, I'd never say no, but yeah, no. I don't, because last year I felt so bad. It seemed like you were constantly getting in trouble from your mum for giving me money, so I don't want that. Anyway, focusing on the game. 6 again, and now that becomes a penalty. Bunty Afoa, the man who's offside. James Fisher-Harris looks very confused there. Pete says preseason challenge is good enough reason to have a united finals comp between New South Wales and Q Cup. That's something I haven't really considered before, but yeah, you know, they could. I think the New South Wales Cup though is stronger, so maybe that would show through a little more. I know it was Newtown that won it, yeah, last year, I think. No, it wasn't. It was North. It was North. North won it. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there is more merit to that. So Cronulla on the attack. On the first, he doesn't go to Hazelton. He could have. Hazelton was right there. That's absurd. Barrel now across to Puru. Kennedy around the back. Does a little step though, Puru, and tackled himself. Has shown a decent running game so far. Barrel goes the short side after feigning to go the long side. Fisher Harris at 7. Lol. On the 4th, Billy Burns across. Here's the man, Tommy Hazelton. Okay, last tackle now. Beryl goes out to Putter. Will we see a kick? No. Goes to Burns, and he's just tackled. That's all right. It's a trial. Run your plays. That's okay. But Putter seems a real like run first 5/8 half. He's a halfback. So I'm surprised that he wouldn't go a kick there. Lancaster, just on Dylan Brown, says, if Brown had stepped up more last year when Moses was out, he'd easily pick up 1 million plus as a main man like Luai does now. But I think he fell a little short. I don't disagree, but the two things I would say is that I think there's a lack of really good young halves at the moment. And what we know as 1 million with that recent salary cap change it means a little something different now. So he could command 1 million, whilst in our minds that's still only like 800, 900k. So yeah, I mean, there'll probably be someone that will be prepared to give him that, but I don't know. I don't see him ending up at Newcastle for some reason. Caught there by Sam Stonestreet, the man who was a bit of a cult hero last year at Cronulla, another local junior at a club who has had a number of fantastic local juniors over its history. Lancaster, I agree completely with the comment you just made. Tigers are one of the 17 teams I can imagine in the top 8 this year. To people who say we don't have an even competition, we have 17 very strong teams this year, and it is so hard to pick. I always have like 14 and 15 in my top 8. Kennedy takes it up over halfway. A man who has a lot to prove this year. There's a lot of people almost writing him off as someone who'll stay at the Sharks. People saying that potentially Hines could have played fullback so that they could re-sign Atkinson. That obviously didn't happen, but a lot of people say Kennedy is what's stopping them from being a actual like proper premiership force. So if he can have a very good year, That'll do wonders for him in his career. Danny says spoon prediction is Finns. I've seen a lot of people say that. And at first I'm like, eh. And then I look at their team and I'm like, surely not. Surely there's got to be someone worse. But that's the thing. I look at every team and I'm like, surely there's got to be someone worse. So they're talking about Dallin. Doesn't shock me that they've ruled him out for that game. They'll be very, very precautionary no matter what happens. Dylan Walker now on the field. Lancaster says that the Eagles should let Dylan Brown walk. If it gets to that, they're basically already in a rebuild, so clearing the more brutal contracts might do good. That is controversial. I don't know. Who's the next best half they have? Dean Hawkins. Good offload there from Bunty Afoa. And now to Dylan Walker. Finds chance in space. And we're going to be all level in a moment. Some late offloading from the New Zealand Warriors. And good ball playing from Dylan Walker. A guy who I looked today is only 30. How was he 30? He has been around forever. He was a premiership winner in 2014. From centre. But here he is. Look at this pass from Dylan Walker. For the try assist. For Charles Dickel-Klukstad. Lancaster says, personally, the Hines to 1 talk was an awful idea. Hines to 6, though, seems a clear shot. I always thought Hines would be a very good 6. I thought it'd be a good 6 in Origin. I wouldn't break up Cleary and Luai, but at the times when he was playing halfback last year in Origin, I thought I never felt that his style of being a halfback would suit Origin. I think it'd be a much better 6. Tiger, yeah, seated the best seats at the Suncorp. For reference, for those of you who don't know, Tiger Walker has a nice little video on his channel about some seats at Suncorp Stadium behind the screen where you can't see anything. Ash, when are you revealing what team you support? Not too sure yet. It'll be at a subscriber goal, maybe 10,000, but we'll see how quickly we get to 10k. And Caleb, I've not heard about the floods in Townsville. Hope everything's okay there. So Metcalf, a man who will he be their first choice kicker? I'm trying to think who else it could be for the Warriors. Potentially Tanner Boyd. And a straight over the black dot, 6-all. We have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. I think Dallin looks okay there. He doesn't look too bad. But as I said, they'll be super precautionary. No need to take any risks at all. Danny thinks the Bennett factor's too much in terms of the Dolphins doing well this upcoming season. Yeah, but they'll have Tom Gilbert back. They could have Thomas Flegler back at some point. There are a lot of reasons why I think they could go okay. Ball up in the air. Now Bunty Afoa running onto that. Oh, that's powerful. Laid across now. Tomato Martin got the ball away quickly there. That was good stuff. Now in the hands of Egan. Warriors a little bit more disciplined now, I think. Lancaster says next best probably RC. Now RC's is at the Castle for Tigers now. They let him go. But yeah, I mean, I like him. He's a decent player, Dejan RC. Warriors now on the last. Still walking cannonballed into that tackle. Metcalf puts it up. Out to Dallin's wing, although Dallin's obviously no longer there. Good take from Sam Stonestreet. Good take. Danny says can't watch the game, so appreciate the comment. I'll appreciate the commentary. No worries. Now through hands of who's that? We're going to get a lot of that, I think. Oh, ball comes out. I tell you what, I think that... Who was that man? Was he wearing jersey number 14? He Hohepapuru, that's it. I thought it looked like Niwaipuru. He looked like he'd given up. He looked at the referee, but the referee was lenient, granted him mercy. Nico Klussat across, finds Kosi, who tried to step outside of turtleneck Mawene Hiroti. Couldn't quite do it. Now Pompey. Lancaster reckons Moses has a shot at Dally M. Absolutely he has a shot at Dally M. He probably would have gone close to it if he hadn't got injured in Origin last year. And yes, no, I did remove all the evidence. There was a little oversight in terms of evidence of who I support. I tell you what, there was so much record of it online because I was a very vocal supporter of the team I supported back in the day. Okay, so we've just seen what me and Lancaster were talking about earlier. The crackdown on the play the ball. And let's have a look. Yeah, absolutely. That's textbook. No, the rule is, and there's a misconception about this. A lot of people think you have to play the ball. You don't. The rule is you have to make an attempt to play the ball. Your foot has to go close to the ball in some capacity. At that time, it did not at all. He just rolled the ball and stepped over it. Danny thinks I'm a Manly, Rabbits, Roosters, or Bronx fan, but I'm ruling out Bronx because they're a Queensland-based team. Why could I not go for a Queensland-based team? Puru finds Talakai underneath. Is he looking a little bit maybe slimmer? I think he is. I think Talakai is looking in good shape. Atkinson knocked on there by Puru, surely. Yes, that's the ruling. Danny, are they calling penalties or handover? I'm confused. I think it was a handover because it's like an error on the last play. Caleb, no revealing at 5k subs. 5k ain't nothing. 5k nothing. 10k is where it's at. Definitely. And yes, also what Tiger said, it will put off the fan base of the team that is. It's just a negative thing, you know? So... a tipping comp. I could do that. I'm notoriously pretty terrible at tipping, but what would you guys, if I made something on like NRL.com, for example, that's what I used to tip on. Would you guys sign up for that? Might as well. Although it would be a very good way of exposing just how little I know about rugby league. No, I know a lot. I'm just bad at predicting games sometimes. Quotiuip. That's a hell of a username. East to miss out on finals for first time since 2016. I think there's a very, very good chance of that for sure. Yeah, there's definitely, I think, 8 teams that are probably better than them on paper. So, and I think their draw's kind of difficult. I was looking at all the draws the other day. But we'll see. I mean, I used to say a team with James Tedesco won't ever miss the finals. Like, you know, I know the Tigers did back in the day, but like peak James Tedesco. As this cake does go dead by a long way. Yeah, I used to say that. But I don't know, this season, not too sure. I still have yet to like put through my actual ladder predictions, but that'll be another video as well. Lancaster on the rule says, I hope this play the ball / offside enforcement doesn't go like last time they tried it. It's not a crackdown because that word is poisoned. But it needs to be done. Yes, people do get all agitated about the word crackdown, that's for sure. But I don't mind enforcement of rules. I definitely don't mind that at all. Thoughts on Terrell Mate? Love Terrell Mate. Big signing for the Tigers. I am excited to see him this year for sure. He'll be a leader. A real leader of that forward pack. So that's exciting. That's very exciting. I agree with what Lancaster says there. And Aussie thinks Roosters are going to miss the 8. It's a very good chance, absolutely. I think we could see a bit of a fall of a giant this season. On the last, with the Tigers, Niwaipuru puts the ball up. It's being chased through. It was by the centre there, Kyle Iro, but no penalty given. Corsi out of his own end. Nearly breaks through a tackle there of Hohepapuru. Tex says all this hype about the favorite team just for him to be supporting Titans or something. We'll see. Only one way to find out. Got to get to that sub goal, don't we? That's the only way. Mitch Barnett. Offload there now to Nickel Klukstad. That's Tamari Martin tackled. So they're highlighting the number 26. That's not Jet, is it? No, Sam Healy. Who I have heard a lot about, Samuel Healy. There we go. Big kick from Luke Metcalf, 40-20. I've got to say, my stream might be a little even further behind than normal because I saw that 40-20 message in the chat ages ago. Good stuff from Luke Metcalf. And yes, Tiger Walker, I'd be very excited if we can make that happen. That'd be cool. Lancaster's excited to see Luai. So am I. I don't know about you guys. I was talking to some other content creators the other day at training for the Sports Shed charity match about Luai fitting into the Tigers. I just see him in that jersey and I think it looks right. I think it looks so right. Jesus, Bunty nearly got to that line there. Was it Bunty? I don't know. It looked like Bunty, I felt. Tamari Martin wrapped up. Good tackle there, Mawene Hiroti. Good tackle. Corsi now. I tell you what, he got decently close to the line. Healy in at dummy half. 2 tackles left here. Dylan Walker, good ball playing there to Metcalf. Out the back. Found CNK. Pompey. Oh no, Leitauer, not Pompey. Couldn't quite find his winger. Metcalf puts the ball across. Knocked back, I think. Batted back. Oh, jeez. Tamare Martin should have gone himself. Could Tamare not have gone himself? Maybe I had a bad camera angle, but it looked like he could just fall. Oh, Tomato. He's on the try line. Sorry, I seem to be dropping frames like crazy. That's another just makeshift setup thing I've got going on. Jeez, he should have just fall over. You guys aren't talking about it. Am I the only one that... have I got it wrong? It looked like he could just get it and fall. When is the Sports Shed match, says Caleb? 16th. Sunday 16th. At 3 p.m. out at Wentworth Park. Very much looking forward to that. We've had one training session already. Having another on Monday. And it looks like Rugby League Guru will probably be there. Mitchell Pearce potentially will be there. So it's exciting stuff. At the training session, by the way. Those guys are definitely participating in the match. So CNK returning the ball. I've got to say, we've now... well, we're nearly up to 32 minutes of this game gone. To still see a number of the first graders out there is good stuff. Maybe they'll just be given one half. Jesus, Cobra's donated $30.40. Brother, how much of your pocket money is that? You should be spending it on, I don't know, but what do the kids of today spend their pocket money on? It's not V-Bucks anymore, surely. Is that another? No, just... They've called it the roll ball there. I know I'm not the most articulate right now, but I'm just looking at that referee strip. It is horrid. It's so awful. I know a number of you are Tigers fans, but that does not work. Am I making too much of a big deal of that? It just doesn't look like a referee jersey. Anyway. Sharky's on the first. Ozzy says, Leaguey going to get a hat-trick in the Sports Shed match. I'm going to be holding the ball and running straight and doing nothing other than that. Believe me, I do not have the facilities for that. Tex says, did anyone see Trell Mitchell's body transformation? Got me so hopeful this year. Absolutely. He looks in very good nick. Cronulla take the penalty here. Surely they're not going for 2. It's a trial. Keep the ball in motion. Yes, they will. Good. But yeah, Latrell's looking good. He's another guy who's in my fantasy team. A leaguey stream without some jank isn't a true leaguey stream. At least we haven't had Garfield pop up yet. That was a good little run there from the Sharks. Second effort, potentially, yes. They've ruled out 6 again. Now Hohepa Puru goes himself. So fresh set. Now across to Niwaipuru. Atkinson stepping inside, going back towards where the play of the ball was, nearly at the nearly at the line. Doesn't quite get there. Puru. 6 more they've ruled. Puru, he has taken so many runs in this first half. He's a running half, that is for sure. Plays it to his brother. He's now the one that's tackled. Now across to Niwaipuru. Again, it's just Puru all the time. Oh, nearly grounded there by Dan Atkinson. Couldn't quite do it. Lancaster, I'm going to have to disagree with, I think, what said there. He said, we hear the Latrell Mitchell body transformation every year doesn't last long, which sucks because if the media just left him be and he could go outside his own head, he could be among the GOATs. That I agree with, that second part, but this year looks different to me, and under Wayne Bennett as well. He, I think, was at the best he's shown in his career when he was under Wayne Bennett. So I do think this year is a very promising year for him, more so than most other years. Robert Groves watching from Thailand. Awesome. Very good stuff. Are you watching this on the Watch NRL app, watching the game? And Arlo is going to come to Sports Shed. That is awesome. Yeah, for any of you guys who are coming to the Sports Shed match, all the content creators, not just me, will be like, going around the ground, meeting all of you. You'll be allowed on the field afterwards, I'm pretty sure. I think I remember hearing that. So yeah, I'll get to meet all of you, which is the part I'm most looking forward to. Now they've got a bit of an overlap. Metcalf, that was another forward pass, surely. That was the execution not great there from Pompey. Could have been 12-6. Lancaster says Charles Mitchell plays 6, get him closer to the ball and get him interested in the game early. Cronk talked about having to get him ball early, so he's invested in the game, so do that. And he'll start ripping teams to shreds again. I think he has played 6 in the NRL, and he was very good, from my memory. It's not a bad idea, but the way South have set up their salary cap, I don't think it would work. I mean, I guess you could move White into fullback. Oh, you've got Jai Gray. He could play fullback. Somewhat Cody at 7. But they've signed Lewis Dodd on so much money. So, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, potentially, but that's obviously not the way I think they're going to do it. Kel says, what is the jersey for your team? Yeah, I'll just go grab it. I'll go grab it from upstairs. Played there by Kyle Iro, now Sione Katoa. Lancaster, I can definitely agree that Bennett can get the best out of him. Chalmette doesn't need a game coach. He needs a man manager, yes. Who can help keep his head in the game, for sure. Agree completely. So Sharks, on the last tackle, just behind the 40. They could go for 40-20 themselves. Not going to go that way, though. Puru it is with the kick. Down to Tain Torpiki. Grows living in Thailand, watching the game on Fox Sports with IPTV. Ah, yes, listening to on YouTube. That's very cool, man. Been to Thailand. Beautiful place. Tex says, Dalium's so bad, it's clearly going to Jerome. It's actually set up for him at this point. I don't know if it's clearly going to Jerome. It'd be a decent bet for it. But yeah, I mean, I've made a video on the Dalium. I'm far from its biggest fan, that is for sure. Warriors over halfway. That was a knock-on, though, yes. To Sam Healy. Vossi sort of disagrees. I don't know. I think that was flat at best. And yeah, Lancaster agrees. Troll at 6 isn't viable with that setup. But yeah, Wayne knows his footy. Although, hot take, I think he's a little overrated. Look, the players that play under him talk about how fantastic he is. So they obviously know a lot more than me. But when you look at record, hasn't won comp since 2010. I am someone who was born in 2002, though. So, in my lifetime, he's won... Well, okay, yeah, he won in, 05 with... No, 06? With Broncos? I can never remember if it was 05 or 06 that they won that. That was Tigers 05. Anyway, I'm just embarrassing myself now. But in my time of following footy, he hasn't been the most successful coach. Yeah, 05 Tigers, 06 Broncos. Definitely. So Puru, to his brother Puru. Was that Tuku Hautapua? He's a guy who we're hearing a lot of good things about this year. Puru now over the advantage line. Across to Stone Street. Warriors everywhere though. Inside a minute to go in this first half. Burns. Last chance here for the Sharks, you would think. Jeez, across. Hits the post. Oh, was that nearly caught in goal? Kurt Catewall at fullback. That was hectic. That was that was a very unstructured play, the kind of thing you only see in trial games. Tiger Walk says, League, I have a question. Who's gotten the most comments hearted on the League channel? I don't know, probably you. Because I do see the metrics. It shows on YouTube, like, the people who comment on your videos and how many comments they leave. And it's always like, got the usual suspects there with like 12 comments, 13 comments, and then Tiger Walker, it says 100 plus. So it's definitely going to be you. First half now ticking down to a close. That will probably be it. You think they won't pack this? Yes, there we go. Okay, first half done. Green Cobra, no worries, all good. Tex says weight overrated, you need medical attention. I don't know. I mean, look, he is rated so highly. So highly. So, like, I'm not saying he's bad at all. But I think Craig Bellamy's a lot better. I don't know. Just my opinion. I think Bellamy's a notably better coach than Bennett. But Bennett is certainly very, very good. Very, very good. Lancaster, just a reminder, he was literally a freak 3 minutes by Felt. That's true. An historic drop ball away from a ring in 15 and an intercept away from one in 21. I know it. And I was thinking that as I said it. But still, like, okay, yes, that's not something the coach himself interferes with. But, you know, we don't consider second place teams to be premiership winners. So the fact is, you coach to win the premiership, and hasn't done that for a very, very long time now. Just for someone who is referred to as the super coach, the master coach. But yeah, I mean, if he'd won those two, I very much couldn't argue. And you're absolutely correct in saying those are very minute differences. Oh, that's true. Okay. Aussie is saying Origin 2020. Yep. I neglected that. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I'd still say probably overrated a bit, but that is true. He did do that recently. Danny agrees, though. Bellamy over Bennett. Tiger says, I've got 50 comments hearted. Next best is like 27. Can you see that because you're a mod? I really hope you can see that because you're a mod. And like you haven't gone through all my videos and counted, because that would be insane. Like, that would take so much time. TX Rail, not a bad performance in the first half. I've got to say, yeah. I mean, look, we had some execution problems from both teams. But decent to see some plays getting run. And for the first half of footy for this season, I think that was pretty good stuff. And yeah, Lancaster, making grand final is an accomplishment, for sure. Yeah. We're arguing sort of over very slight things here, because yes, I would not say Bennett is not a good coach. I also think what he's done with the Dolphins was very impressive. But yeah, I don't know. I do think sometimes he's seen to be a bit faultless in the way that he's spoken about and revered in the media. So I mean, this year will be a pretty big test. Although I do think people are underestimating South Sydney. I still think they've got a good team on paper. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, and Tex, yes, we just mentioned Origin 2020. That did slip of the mind. TX Rail, however, one thing I don't like is that Liam Kennedy, that being the referee, likes blowing the whistle. Oh, here we go. I also noted they kept an arm ball rolling at the back after tackle complete. Good on them. Yeah, the ball rolling, absolutely. We've spoken about that they, well, cracking down, if we want to call it that. But I don't know. When we talk about referees and them liking to blow the whistle, I'm far more concerned about, has a rule been broken? Have the laws in the game been breached? Because if they have, the referee should be blowing their whistle. So to me, it's not so much a question of how often the referee blows their whistle. It's how often the referee blows their whistle when they shouldn't have. So that's a different criticism. If that's what you're saying, then okay. But yeah, that is a different thing. And I think referees that do tend to give away a lot of penalties. Maybe they happen to officiate games that are a bit less disciplined, or like the teams think they can get away with a bit more under that referee. I think they get a bad rap. Potentially even referees who are better and like they pick up on things that other referees don't, will blow their whistle more than other referees. So Alex Neal says, I'm eliminating the Roosters from the teams you could support. You're too nice to the Rabbitohs for that. Oof. Lots of, I mean, we do often have these theories that go around, but I feel I'm nice to everyone. Am I not? Who am I not? Well, the Titans. As I've said before, I do kind of badmouth the Titans a bit. That's Coco, by the way, you can hear. For those of you who remember Coco, she's gone nuts. Tex says you should add a timer so people know roughly where you're up to. We did try that once. It was hectic. I like watching because the thing is with rugby league, it's not like soccer. With the clock stopping so much, it was impossible for me to like look at the game, look at chat, commentate, and like pick up on when the clock happened to stop. Because it's not exactly announced. The clock just stops. So it just didn't work in practicality. It was always like really inaccurate. Lancaster says, I think people might forget he literally coached 2 teams last year, because he did, and dragged South back from Spoon to top 8 contention, and was a tryout from Finns into 8 despite so many setbacks. I mean, South's into top 8 contention. I mean, I guess that there was maybe a point at which that was the case. They did finish second last though. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the extent to which he coached South. He certainly would have like put in plans for next year. That's absolutely true. But the week-to-week stuff, I'm skeptical as to what I sort of hear about that personally. Sorry, I'm far behind on this chat. You guys are going off. Thank you very much. But yeah, Alex, that's sort of what we were saying. Wayne hasn't won a comp in 15 years. TX Rail says, like an Origin, how Klein called a no try in the middle of third tackle halfway down the field after nothing happened. If you remember that. I can't say I do. We've got a donation. Oh my god, is that... I'm looking at that profile picture. Is that a Ben Hunt profile picture? I think it is. Let's see. Who was that? Hunt. Yes. I'm trying to get that username. It's displaying a little funny. Hunters Edits. That's it. Leaguey, keep up the good work. And can I have mod? You deserve this, mate. Thank you for the donation. I feel really terrible saying this after there's a donation, but I stopped giving out mod a little while ago. Just like to, because I've already got so many. Maybe like, you know, in the fullness of time. I feel so bad after you've just donated saying that. But thank you. I do really appreciate it very much. Thank you so much. That's very nice. And that is the first donation of 2025. So there you go. You've got a piece of Leaguey history there. Oh geez, everyone's saying bring back Coco. She's so beautiful. Okay. I'm a man of the people. I'll please the people. It's half time. I'll go get Coco. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. Here she is. Coach, got anything to say to the people? She's just sniffing the microphone. Yes. Here is the Coco. She's an old girl now. She's about 9 years old. Doggies fan, I hear. Although my dad is not a huge fan of it when I say that. But yes, Coco the dog. This is not her first time on the Leaguey streams, that's for sure. And she wants to leave the room immediately, don't you, Cokes? I don't think she likes you guys as much as you guys like her. I don't know why. Oh no, she's hanging around. Okay, she's gonna come sit under the desk. That's nice. Good stuff. Coco's gonna hang out for the rest of the stream. Danny says she looks like my dog. That's nice. She's the only one of her breed in Australia because she's a Dutch breed. Lancaster says Liam Kennedy, back in that topic, was a great video ref in Origin. Sadly, I think the media got in his head after his correct Suoliti call, which is why he didn't him critter. Oh, bin critter. Okay, for the RTS knockout. That's a decent theory for sure. Yeah, I mean that Suoliti call was huge, but yeah, I did agree with it at the time, and it was subject to so much debate. To be honest, I was just so devastated. I was so like hyped for that game. I mean, obviously New South Wales won Origin, so like, you know, I look back on it still with fond memories. It was a very good performance from the Blues, but just at the time, that send off that early in the game. Tex says Coco's too political for me personally. I mean, she does have some pretty radical opinions, I'll give you that. Wait till you ask her about the Gaza conflict. She's got so much to say on that. Tiger says Leaguey's dad isn't a Dogs fan, confirmed. No, my dad is not a Dogs fan. I think I've said before who my dad follows, but I don't know. If I haven't, then maybe I shouldn't. Maybe that would just fuel the baseless conspiracy theories. Brungy says also, I don't know why we are tipped for the spoon. As a Dragons fan, the Dragons are always tipped for the spoon. You would know this as a as a Dragons fan. The reason why you're tipped for the spoon is mainly just the halves. Ilias and Flanagan. Neither of them are particularly that good. Although I do like Flanagan a lot more than most other content creators do. But that's it. And it doesn't really mean much. It is a bit of a lazy tip. But at the same time, I can't figure out who is my favorite for the spoon. On paper, maybe Canberra. But then Canberra also always overachieve, much like the Dragons have in recent years. So it's just so hard to say. It's so hard to say. Tiger says Dargans make finals this year, and that's absolutely possible as well. TX Rail ideas / thoughts on Ash Klein. You won't find me saying anything disparaging about a referee, even if they do individual things or make calls that I disagree with. As someone who's been a referee myself, it is the hardest thing I've done in my life. It is so hard. It's actually like literally an impossible thing to do because your responsibilities as a referee require you to look in multiple places at the same time. So pretty much any criticisms I would have of a referee, I just put down to, well, it's such a hard job. I'm going to cut them some slack. So those are sort of my thoughts on, not so much Ash Klein, but referees in general. But yeah, it was a right call, Lancaster. It was a good call to make, a brave call to make, very brave call. Tiger says if Ilias or Flanagan goes down, they could be cooked. That could be true in more ways than one. Do they move Damien to half, play Little at hooker? No, anyway, I'm just playing on the word cook there. Yeah, who else do they have? They've got Lycan King Tongia. I think he played in the hearts of them last year, but obviously Amon and Sullivan are both gone. They left a couple of years ago. I'm trying to think who else is there. Marshke? Is Jesse Marshke still there? I find that hard to say. Jesse Marshke. Daniel Atkinson coming through next year though. Here we go, Lancaster. Personally, I found Coco saying we should turn the entire Middle East into one big super Macca's location rather controversial. I'd get her out from under the desk so she can talk more about it, but she just looks so peaceful right now. I could actually, it's there we go. There she is. Yeah, Coco. You're being watched by very many people right now. Let's go. Good girl. She's so confused, but she's happy. Oh, that's not back in the same place. No, that's that. There we go. That's better. Brungy, we should put Gutho in halves. Yeah, I didn't mind that shout. Him at 6. Oh, geez, we're about to get kicked off again. They were running ads right up until the end there. Yeah, Gutho at 6. Didn't mind it, but doesn't look like that's the way it will play out. Maybe at some point in the season. We'll see. Bungie says, if there's one team I hate most in the comp, it's Roosters. Most people will agree. Will disagree with this, but their salary cap is busted. I don't know. I mean, I think it's difficult to argue that this year, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, as I said in my roast of every team, like, everyone hates the Roosters. So that doesn't shock me very much. And yeah, Tex, it's just a really competitive race for the top 8. Even the race for the premiership, like, looking back on it, we look at it as the Panthers dynasty, but last year, like, the best team were probably Melbourne. You could make a very good case for South Sydney back in 2021. So it's with some context. Obviously, the 2023 grand final, that was all wrapped up. So it wasn't quite as clear-cut as we probably remember. So even the premiership race, although Penrith have won it every year, there's been a decent competition. Maybe 2022 was the only year where, like, Parramatta, they weren't realistically going to win it. And Lancaster says, being away from Reynolds' shadow will be really great for Ilias. Probably. I mean, Jason Demetrio saying that Ilias is going to be better than Adam Reynolds. One of the most just ill thought out things I think I've heard a first grade coach say. And Lancaster reckons Gutho will end up at 6 because his body can't hold up to 1. The thing is with 6 though, you've got to tackle in the front line. So from a body perspective, there's an argument to say, cardio definitely fullback, you have to be better, but we'll see. Anyway, the game is on. Metcalf with a decent run there, up over the 30. Still a couple tackles left here for the Warriors. And surprisingly, lots of first graders still out there. Loads of them. Alex Neal, with South's record in 2021, we would have been minor premiers every other year since 2007. There you go. Yeah, so as I say, the race at the top, it's still being kind of tight. Bungie also, the Roosters made it personal for me when they decided to score 120 points against us in the 2 times we played them last season. Did they? Damn. Okay, I understand your hate for them now. That's averaging 60 points. That is insane. Tex, all good. See you later, my friend. And TXRL, do you think when DC leaves Seagulls this year, Turbo will move to 7 and Garrick will go to 1? I can't see Turbo at 7 personally. I know there's been talk of him going to 6. As much as it didn't really work at the Tigers, I think there's a decent chance Brooks might go to 7. Potentially Turbo to 6, but I like him at 1. The thing is, in terms of DC's retirement, he hasn't ruled that it will be, he hasn't announced it will be this year, right? Because if it's a couple of years away, we don't know what the market's really going to look like. Players will become available, players will move around, some guy might come through at Manly, we don't know. So it is hard to say. Hazelton with the ball on the last, gives it across to Atkinson. Ball went very vertical. Caught well there by Ed Corsi though. Tiger says, we got a leaguey lower desk reveal before GTA 6. Well, this is like, I'm up at my family place in Sydney. Not at my normal place in Canberra, but I've moved in Canberra, so we've got some new setups for this year, which I'm very excited about. Working on my new background. Indian Jack says Melbourne win minor premiership. The fact that they've got the same side plus Stefano Utoikamanu, yeah, I back that. I think that's probably a good shout. Lancaster says, got 36 works because his body suffers at the legs. Yeah, actually, that's true, the knees. Yeah, he doesn't have the speed to go forward anymore, but 6 could work. Danny says they're charging $200 for GTA 6. Are they? I mean, I love GTA, so I'll be getting that for sure. Ball goes up in the air. Caught there by Stone Street. All game, I mean, I know we see this from NRL teams anyway, but the Sharks have always put it up to Ed Corsi, and the Warriors have always put it up to Sam Stone Street. Either way, though, Danny, I'm going to buy a new console when GTA 6 comes out. The fact is they can charge whatever they want and people will buy it. I certainly will. Danny says, Cronulla, my favourites for the season, minor and premiership. Favourites is bold. Favourites is very bold. But they do get through the line here. Katoa, he's away. He's being chased hard by Martin. Kick inside. I think we've got to have a try here. No! Oh, no. They left it for each other. Oh, no. Chance here for the Warriors. Torpiki couldn't quite get around Katoa. That was very good from Sione Katoa. Very, very good. And then went back to make the tackle. But neither of them committed to it. That bounce that was there, they both went past it. I'll tell you what, a good thing that didn't happen in a proper NRL game. Ball comes free now. What's the ruling? Play on. No knock on. Okay, Coco wants to leave the room. Give me a moment. We back. Yeah, I didn't quite see that one, but it obviously looked like a knock on. Danny says, don't tell me you hit the commentator's curse on Katoa. I did see him limping, and yeah, now he's off the field. It was a good play. High up. Stone Street again. What a tremendous take. It's interesting with him. I mean, he's obviously not going to crack through Mulatalo and Katoa, but... And they are both quite reliable players who play lots of games in the year, but he's looking good. He's looking very good. Angus says, I don't see how anyone aside from Penrith can be favourites. No matter what happens, they seem to win it like it's divine providence or something. Yeah, I agree. They're definitely my favourites. I think I have a habit of predicting that the season that's just played out will play out again. I think Melbourne will be strong over the season. I think it's going to take Penrith some time to adjust to having Talangi at 5'8", but and Fisher Harris not in the forward pack, but they will finish top 4, and I would have them winning it. So, yeah, Tiger Walker with the fish and chips. Good stuff, man. Although eating fish during a Sharks game is a bit insensitive. Dave says, surely you keep Mulatalo. 100% you keep Mulatalo in there. He's well and truly on track to be their top scorer ever. Their top try scorer ever. Which is insane, given the record set by Andrew Eddinghausen. But I think he'll break it. Across from Metcalf there to... Can't quite tell who that is. Number 11 it was for the Warriors. Jacob Laban. But the Sharks do recover the kick. Now through Atkinson. Who's this then? Number 20 something. They've just said is a former Bulldog. Eli Clark. Oh yeah, I remember him at the Dogs. Lancaster, I definitely take a punt on Stone Street. Solid, young, tall, good scorer, makes good meters. I think there's several teams who could do with someone like that. Well, see, okay, I'm curious. I don't mean to like call you out or anything, but whenever I hear like there are heaps of teams that could do with a guy like that, they say it a lot on the Blog podcast. Sometimes I sit and I think, okay, who? Because yeah, a guy like him, it feels like there should be a number of teams that could use him. But I don't know. Are there? Where would he actually like get genuine first grade? And I'm happy to be proven wrong. But a lot of teams seem to have their wings, in fact most positions, quite locked down. Brunchy, every season I've predicted Dragons versus Panthers finals, and the Dragons will be the ones to knock them off their throne. That is bold. That's certainly a bold prediction. As Healy it is. That was a good run from dummy half. JFH in at hooker. Clark across now. Metcalf. Close out with his hands on the ball a lot. Metcalf now. Ball up, trying to find Laban. Knocked on there, I think, by Viella. Viella? They said Viella. Is it Viella or Vilia? Beaila. Beaila, I think that would be. That's just the beauty of trials. You just are like, who is that guy? Who he? Who this? New season, who this? Oh, we got a captain's challenge. Okay, first captain's challenge of 2025. I mean, I thought it looked forward, but we'll see. Oh no. So successful challenge, but it's worse. A penalty's been given away. Oh, that's a terrible challenge. Runji, just want to say I found this channel recently. I've enjoyed your content so much. Keep it up, mate. Thank you. Believe me, 2025 is going to be like, it's going to be different. There's a lot coming. And it's going to be better. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Lancaster, okay, Lancaster stood up to my challenge. Off the top, Knights, maybe Raiders. Waz could use into free RTS from the wing. Roosters potentially, depending on their current stocks go once they get tested. I mean, well, Roosters in a year, maybe Roosters. But they've still got Tupou and Young. Knights, they would have Marju and Fletcher Sharp. Waz potentially if they want to move RTS to centre, but then one of Rocco Berry and Ali Leitao won't be playing first grade. Intercept now. Is that Michael Gabrol? There's a knock on. What have we got? Play on. Oh my god, it's play on. Tamari Martin straight through the middle, pins the ears back. Oh, what a passage of play. Oh yes, Sharp is 5'8". They're talking about that. That really shocks me. They've got 4 halves. They've got Price, Gamble, Cogger, and Hastings, and they're playing Fletcher Sharp at 5'8". So yeah, Nice is a decent shout. Raiders seem to have a lot of outside backs, don't they? Albert Hopewadi, Nick Kotrich is gone. But anyway, my point is, yes, he could very much be like the backup winger at many clubs, but isn't that what he already is at Cronulla? Anyway, Warriors with a lot of momentum here off that Tamari Martin run. Here we go, out to the wing now, step on the inside, and it's Tain Tuapiki. Very, very good footwork. Very good footwork from the fullback, playing on the wing. And it's 10 points to 6, kick to come. The gamer says Sharp is from Cessnock, like me. There's a few other decent rugby league names that are from Cessnock, that's for sure. Brunchy, the issue with the Dragons at the moment, even though we did some shopping and covered key spots, we are lacking in forwards. Well, and of course, Molo's gone. Just signed Emre Gula, who's a player that... I mean, to tell you the truth, I'm not a huge Emre Gula fan. I don't know if I've told this story before, but So the shopping center I go to is very close to the Raiders training center, and he was getting lunch there one day. I believe it was sushi, and he ate it and left all his rubbish all over the benches there. Just got up and left. And from that moment, I didn't like him regular. He's a litterer. He's a filthy litterer. But anyway, that has nothing to do with his ability to play rugby league. Okay, I was going to play Smash Bros. I can never figure out how that game works, but congratulations to you. The game is who do you want to win, Sharks or Waz? I don't really care. These are two teams that I like. Yeah, I mean, look, I rarely go for teams in these streams anyway. Danny says Dragons sold so hard with May. Yeah, I thought he was going to go there. Actually, I thought first I thought he was going to go to the Bulldogs, then they pulled out, and then I thought Dragons. But yes, they did land on Gula, which, you know, when you're after Terrell May and you land on Gula, bit of a downgrade as Metcalf does convert it, and it's 12 points to 6. So this is more the way that I expected the game to play out, just because the Warriors have named a stronger side. But it is interesting that it's taken until this late in the game. Still 26 minutes to go, but this late in order for them to take the lead. I thought, if anything, they'd have a stronger start, and then once the reserve grade guys come on, it would be a bit more even. Danny, 12-6 and half the Sharks lineup is New South Wales Cup. Yeah, I mean, look, at this point, so is half the Warriors lineup. But yeah, Warriors certainly named the stronger side. Lancaster, can't wait to see Lomax in his new position. They're calling it outside centre. Yeah, good luck convincing him to play on the wing. But him, I tell you what, a backline, no more Gutherson, but they'll have Adokar. Those are two very good wingers. Pensini in the centres, and who else? Who's the other centre? I'm probably forgetting someone. Simonson, most likely, I would think. So Warriors caught in their own half. We'll kick on the last through Metcalf. Kennedy underneath. Oh no, it's not Kennedy, it's Hiroti. Up at fullback. And has to surrender there to avoid the escort. NRL head, good to see you, my friend. Brunchy's going for the Warriors, even though it's a trial. Sharks are up there on my hate team as their rivals. That's fair. I mean, I'm curious to know, you being a Dragons fan, Red V Oddcast, if you're still here as well, let me know. How real do you feel the rivalry is between the Sharks and the Dragons? Because I grew up in Europe, where everyone follows soccer, and the rivalries in soccer are so vibrant. They add so much. I think as a game we'd benefit if there were more rivalries like that, and the Sharks and Dragons is one that could be that, but I don't know it. I've never felt anything like, you know, the Roosters Rabbitohs rivalry, or even Cowboys Broncos, where I think there is a little bit of dislike. Well, in Broncos Cowboys I think there's a bit, in Roosters Rabbitohs there's certainly a lot. But yeah, let me know how real you think that is. Aussie, does Simonson play fullback? He has in the past, but he's been a winger and a centre for quite some time now. Just give me a moment, guys. That was needed. I needed that for like the last half hour. NRL head, names on jerseys. Yeah, you're probably not going to like my opinion on this. I would love it. Like in a dream world, I would absolutely love it. But you just, from a sponsorship perspective, it would cost so much. The Super League do it, which surprises me because they have sponsors everywhere on their jerseys. But we'd be sacrificing a lot of money for every club in order to take away that sponsor there at the back of the jersey and put a name. And even if you make them share the space, you're still losing a lot of money from the sponsor for that reason. So I would love it to happen, but I'm not sure it could. One thing I'd be a little more in favor of potentially is, like, in the Super League, each player has their number. And no matter what position they play in that number. I don't mind that as much. Even though, like, I know Australia in that last World Cup was terrible, but the numbers do still correspond to the positions, at least roughly. And that's the way where, like, say I was buying a 2025 Bulldogs number 6 jersey. That is a Matt Burton jersey. Woo Woo Gould says Bulldogs and Eels have a good rivalry. That's true. The Easter Monday rivalry. Yeah, Lancaster. No thanks. I don't like playing Origin or Test as a top 5 winger. I'd rather be a top 50 centre instead. Yeah. Do any of you guys know where he's lined up in training? I haven't actually really heard much out of Eels camp. Brungy says, when you're at the game, the atmosphere is so good, but the worst feeling is when you hear up Cronulla after they mop the floor with us Dragons. And that has probably happened a fair bit lately, I would assume. Drop ball there. Sharks force an error. Good opportunity to get back into the game. Corsi with his second big error of the game as they bring off CNK. Aussie says Dolphins Broncos rivalry is going to be the Roosters Rabbitohs of Queensland. I hope so. I certainly hope so, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not exactly up in Brisbane, so I don't know. But I think there's a lot of people that kind of like both teams. And, you know, maybe in as history progresses, that will change and there'll be more things that cause a rivalry, but I think so far it's been kind of forced a little bit, those two. I don't know if there's an intense dislike between them so much. So across from the scrum, Viella up to the 20. Will we see the Sharks level up the game here? I think the crowd's got a little bit bigger since the start of this game. Roll ball. Oh. Call from the touchy, they say. That's just as it felt they were building momentum. Just as it was building momentum. NRL head, why don't they get rid of the top sponsor and put the name there? No, that's what I'm saying. It would cost so much money. Like several $100,000 per club. So, Tiger Walker says, Leaguey, if I ever do live stream, surely you get water if I forget to update the scoreboard. 100% I will. 100% I will. Xavier. That's an interesting spelling of Xavier. I've never seen it with a Z. That's cool. Who does the Cowboys have other than Brisbane for rivals? Pretty much no one. And even in terms of Brisbane, like, yeah, they were the two Queensland teams for a long time, but Townsville is really far away from Brisbane. They really don't have anything to do with each other. Dylan Walker back on the inside there to Dimitri Vaimunga. Metcalf runs himself. I don't know if he knew it was the last. It didn't really look like he knew it was the last. Lancaster says, heard very little, but all indications are he's training at centre. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying I doubt what you're saying, but the thing is, if I was Jason Riles, I think I'd come in and be like, okay, yeah, Lomax, you signed to play under Brad Arthur. He might have promised you certain things, but I'm a different coach and I'm playing you on the wing. But, you know, I'm sure those conversations would have been had, and maybe Riles does like him as a centre. NRL head says, personally, I think get rid of the Sharks and add the Rams, the Adelaide Rams. I won't, there's probably a number of Sharks fans here, so I won't be making any comment on that. I don't want to annoy them too much. Is that another error there from the Sharks? I think it is, yeah. So two errors in back-to-back sets where they were building up. That's true, though, what Lancaster says on the Dolphins-Broncos rivalry with the Tony Staggs try celebration. It's true. I mean, I still don't think the fight is that big, but that was certainly like a moment that has defined it so far. NRL head says, is your laptop better? No, I have borrowed a laptop for this stream, and it will it'll be the same laptop I do tomorrow's stream on. Oh, Brungy said on the last comment, sorry, I must have missed it. Also, I'm disappointed with Lomax leaving. Would have loved to see him at Redview for years to come. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, I think everyone would, but he did quite clearly want to leave, so you'd have to question his loyalty. As we see Ivan there. Geez, there's Jet Cleary. He's got the same blockhead as the others. Here we go. Let's get the expectations up. If he doesn't immediately look like Andrew Johns in the way he plays, I'm disappointed personally. Just personally. Danny, yeah, not too sure how I'm going to do the season previews this year. Probably won't be like last year. I might do them all in one video. Like a very, very long video. But we'll see. Still a few weeks before that. Or a couple weeks. Tiger says, do you think Mason is still staring at tomorrow's stream? I did go and look, and I could see that there was no one else there at one point, but that was impressive commitment. There we go, roll ball. Jeez, I mean, I guess it is just like, you know, force of habit. But we've seen so many of them now, and that was in good attacking field position. Arloson, good to see you here. Good to see you back, my friend. And Arlo Molan, I've not played Phasmophobia. I don't even know what that is. But Phasmophobia. Anyway. These roll balls, I'll tell you what. I think it's going to define the trials. I think you will have this game, tomorrow's game, and then somehow all of the other teams that are going to be playing next week won't have learnt their lesson, and they'll all do the exact same thing. But it is really just like playing the ball, something as simple as that, An NRL player does that without thinking, so it doesn't shock me that it's going to take a bit of time to adjust there. Who's this kid? 21 for the Sharks. Big boy. Brad Fernley. He looks like... I mean, I literally have never heard of him until now. He looks like a rusted-on country boy if I've ever seen one. Back there from the Warriors, good recovery play there from Luke Hanson of the Warriors. And yeah, Lancaster, don't worry, the game is late. I think it's, yeah, same time as this one. So now we're seeing really just reserve grade on reserve grade pretty much. Freddie Lussick in at dummy half. He's played a fair bit of NRL. But to be one of the rare few that has. Arla says, yesterday forgot to turn off the spirit box and got folded like a lawn chair. Right, okay, that's a Phasmo thing. Because I was like, I have no idea what that what that means. But anyway, yeah, cool. I gotta say, I got folded like a lawn chair at the Sportshed TV charity match training. The thing is, I've literally never played rugby league before. Never. Like, not in PE, nothing. So it was like super basics, one-on-one with one of my teammates. Matty George's, it was teaching me how to tackle, and it was hard. We did it on Monday. This whole thing is bruised, as I thought the players were getting into it, but they're just celebrating. It was a big hit, good stuff. Oof, yeah, that was Matty on me at the training. It was a bit of a rude awakening, but I feel ready. I feel excited. Yeah, I'm edge back row. Well, the thing is, so I've been named in the back row, and I certainly hope I'm playing in the back row. But there's going to be another training session on Monday where the teams do get like finalized. So we'll see. Tiger Walker, Liggy, have you seen my 2 most recent videos? I think so. I mean, whenever I see you upload, I click on it. So as long as they've been recommended to me, then I have. It was the one on like the in-season collapse, I think. I can't remember. Freddie Lussick now across. Is that to a picky? Oh, hit hard there by Hiroti. Across now. Oh, now there's another error. Ball ends up with Hiroti. Steps just over the 40-meter line. Danny says run at the halfbacks, nothing else. Ah, but you see, the half that I'm probably going to be lining up against is Blake Austin. It's going to be like, I'll be better off running at whoever the opposition back rower is than running at Blake Austin. So, no, thank you. I'm just gonna like get the ball, hold it tight, run straight, and close my eyes. Tiger says, aren't you subbed to me though? I definitely am, but you don't necessarily get recommended every YouTube channel you subscribe to. Subscribers actually mean less than a lot of people think. Fun fact. Lancaster is back on the topic of Origin. I'm introducing my US girlfriend to footy by showing last year's Origin series. That's a good idea. Watch Game 3 Thursday. She shouted so loud when Best scored. When Best... I said Breast. When Best scored, that her mother came to see what was going on. Cutest thing I've ever seen. That's so nice. That is so nice. Yeah, I mean, very good idea to do it with Origin, and it was a tremendous Origin series. Good stuff to see her that into it, though. Good on her. Danny says, don't close your eyes. Bad idea. Yeah, no, don't worry. I'm not actually going to close my eyes, but figuratively. A very simple error there from the Warriors. Has to be said. I mean, as I find myself saying a lot, it is just trials, but still. Their defense will be put to the test here, and we can have an even game very shortly. Do preseason games go to Golden Point? They've got a set to the right, I think. But they do go left. Straight to the winger. Geez, there's a bit of room out there. The ball didn't quite hit him where it should have, though. I think there could have been a try there if it had. Sharks now, and I'm really now at the point where I don't know any of these Sharks players that are out there. There's a putter or two, and there's Beryl. Here's one of the putters. Short ball to that guy that I said looks like a real country lad. Beryl on the third. Short ball. Big Riley Pollard, they say. So Beryl puts a little kick in behind. Oh, can't quite get there, the Sharks. You know what I should do? I should have like on a separate screen, the teams open. That'd be good. Lancaster, I'm trying to keep the recency bias out, but 2024 Origin Series was definitely up there with the best ever. No doubt about it. It really was. It's down to like, you know, that game 3. I feel like so many games of Origin were like, that's the best game of Origin we've seen in so long. But the contest of it, and the fact that New South Wales did that up in Queensland, tremendously good. Danny says, I could care less if this is preseason. This is bad sign for Waz. Danny, I know you're a mod, but I simply cannot permit anyone to say I could care less in my chat. I can't permit it. It's one of my pet peeves. I'm sorry. I've had to remove the comment. I've removed it. It's I couldn't care less. It's I couldn't. If you could care less, then that means you care. If you mean you couldn't care less. Sorry, it's a real pet peeve of mine. I'm one of those people. My bad, boss. All good, Danny. All good. Beryl. So the Sharks do get another go. Beryl. Geez, that number 26 is a big boy. Fatili. Is it? He doesn't look like a Fatili. Oh, there we go. Straight through. They finally found the numbers. Oh no. Oh no, we've got the whistles. We've got a no try. Brunchy, yeah, sorry. If I missed your comment, there's so many comments. I try and read them all. Here we go. The one purchase I was thrilled about is Holmes is my favorite player besides Dill Edwards and Ben Hunt. I'm a bit disappointed about the Hunt situation. I can understand you being disappointed about Hunt, but Holmes should be good. I mean, at his best, very, very good player. Very good player. Tiger, if you said my fave team, I think I'd start crying. Woo Woo God says, what's your favorite Origin game? Would have to be Game 3 2019, I think. Where Tedesco scored that try to win it at the death. That's at least my favorite Origin finish. So are they ruling? I mean... Oh, okay. This is interesting. This is interesting. Oh, okay, okay. So they've ruled no try anyway, but very interesting to see that the contact from Hohepa Puru had no bearing on the play. Last season, I don't know if you guys remember, the one that I think everyone blew up about was Warrior Hargraves on Dylan Edwards. That 100% would have been called back last year. So that's a change of interpretation. Lancaster says, how long left in the game? Yeah, 9.5 minutes. 9.5. Tiger, can't believe you revealed my favorite team. Brungy says, I know it's a strictly NRL channel. Did you hear about the Mavericks trading Luka to the Lakers? Yeah. I mean, I have a quite peripheral interest in NBA. I'll admit, I like playing 2K, but cannot understand that. I will say people aren't talking enough about all the first round picks that have gone the way of the Mavericks. But it does seem insane. But yeah, Lancaster, we have had awesome game 3s. That's sort of what I mean. All these game 3s were like, that's the best game 3 ever. I will say, I'm surprised. I mean, yeah, we've had a number of errors, but I'm surprised it's been a very low scoring game. Games that end 12-6 are a thing of the past at the NRL level. So while the execution has been off, I would have thought we'd see a fair few more tries in this. Danny says, only thing I know about NBA is my code. Lapuki James. Nah, LeBron's good. He ain't no Michael Jordan, though. No, Michael Jordan. I'm a Bulls man, if it wasn't clear. JR Pete, same with the Manly Para game. Obstruction on Jakey. Yes, that's true. That was another good example when clearly Para guy ran to him instead of Tom. Yeah. No, very true. So it looks like, I mean, we complained about that a lot last year. Maybe we'll get a change of that interpretation heading into this season. Lancaster says, without a doubt, the best grand final was 08 when Storm got absolutely obliterated in traumatic fashion despite their cheating. I've been told I was there at that game. I would have been, I think, 5 or 6 years old, though, so I have no memory of it. But I have been told that I was there. Beryl nearly put Pickering through. On the last. Sharks running out of chances, 7.5 minutes to go. Ball goes up. Doesn't go down with the Sharks. Did hit the ground, I believe, but ended up with the Warriors. Danny, that would be the Lakers at the moment. Yeah, Tiger, 12-6 is a score that's achieved 10 minutes into a game. That's what we're more accustomed to, but I like these score lines. I like them. I like the lower scoring games. Woo God, what's your favorite finals game? IMO, it's Doggies vs. Para 1998. I have not seen that game. I would have been minus 4 years of age at that point. I don't know. I mean, finals game, I'm inclined not to say a grand final. The 2023 grand final, though, holds a special place in my heart. I mean, I was at the ground for that, and it was obviously such a miracle performance from Cleary. So that's a finals game. I'd probably say that. Lancaster says best Origin series aside from 24 was 14, almost entirely because it's the first one I ever remember us winning. I was going to say, yeah, dripping in bias there. Dripping in bias. Sin Bin Sunday should be up there, Aussie. Yeah, that one, it was not one for the purists, that's for sure. That a very memorable game. That was hectic. I was also at that one. I try and go to whatever games I can. But that was a crazy game. I want to see those two teams in a grand final. With how good they've been in the last decade, I can't believe it hasn't happened already. Sharks, though, one last tackle here. 5.5 minutes to go, right on the opposition try line. Beryl stumbles. Puts a kick in. If he's onside, it's a try. That was not the plan. Liam Kennedy's given it a try. 10-12. 12-10. Kick to come. We could be all level in a moment. That was not what was supposed to happen off that play. Beryl stumbled out of dummy half. Then people started making their runs. Then he thought, oh, geez, I better kick it then. But I think it was good. I think JRP, yeah, Jet is jersey flag. Look at him. He stumbles out of dummy half. Goes to pass. Then he goes to kick. Oh, well onside. Well onside. Runji, my favorite moment from the 2024 season was seeing JWH get Sinbin in his 307th career game. That would have been the game. Oh yeah, that was when he became the most capped Rooster. Second best moment besides when he crushed the Roosters in 2010. Surely you've got like, I mean, crushing the Roosters in 2010 in that grand final. That should be your best moment for sure. But yeah, that was very funny seeing JWH get Sinbin. At that point, it was the most Jared thing ever. Have they confirmed this yet? There we go. There's the confirmation. So it is 12-10. Kick to come. Atkinson's no longer on the field. It's Hiroti. Mr. Turtleneck himself. Does put the ball over and we're all locked up. We are all locked up. I tell you what, 2025, we're back. And we're back with a bang. We're back with a good finish. 3 minutes, 56 seconds left on the clock. And scores are locked up. NRL head says Sharks should be removed as an NRL team. Outrageous. They're my local team. I couldn't say that. We were good. 1998 final saw us Doggies down 18-6 with 10 minutes left in the prelim. But we made a legendary comeback to win 32-20. Geez, with 10 minutes left, 6 points to 32. That is insane. 2023 Grand Final was legendary too, though. It really was. Yeah. And Brungy, yes, that 2010 Dragons team was awesome. Yeah, like Gasnier, Soward, Morris, Boyd. I mean, the list went on with that team. So Sharks with the kick return. Do we see them go for field goals? Or do they just say, no, it's a trial, we'll try and run our set plays? I'll tell you what, are any of you guys in for a golden point extra time? You're going to stick around for it? NRL head, Sharks have 0 fans in a finals that didn't even have 10k. Really? Really? Not even at the Penrith game? But no, Cronulla have fans. They certainly have fans. Tiger says if the league doesn't support the Raiders, that's definitely his second favorite team. We'll, I guess we'll see. One day we'll know. Dropped behind, doesn't quite go dead though. And he gets it about 15 meters out from his line. Freddie Lussick's still out there. Oh, that was a wayward pass. Jeez. Could have been a moment. Lancaster, I like 2010 Roosters mostly because of Todd Carney. Such a pity how his career ended up going. Carney could have been one of the greats. Well, you can put on one of the great performances we'll ever see at the Sports Shed charity match next Sunday. I'll either be inside him or Pierce, so I'll let him know you said that. Hiroti now. No, it's not Hiroti. Who's that? That man. I swear I've seen that guy before in like local gyms here in Cronulla. I can't figure out what his name is. Now, inside 2 minutes left to go. Blake Hosking for the Sharks. When I first read the team list and I saw Blake Hosking, I was like, wait, Hosking moved to the Sharks? I completely forgot that Zach Hosking's name was Zach. I thought, no way would I have missed that. But no, it does make sense. He's picked up and dumped there. Pickering, I think they're saying his name is. Big kick there. Potentially. Oh no! Oh! Okay. The Warriors fullback does drop it, but he'll be very happy that this went touch and goal. Because if it had gone out just over the sideline, Cronulla would have the ball right on the try line. So good thing for him, this just snuck behind that post. Snuck behind it. Lots of comments to read here. NRL head, I think every team should have their own ground. It probably isn't a realistic way of doing things, but it would be cool. Pete says GWH is going to break records at Super League for most binned player. Yes. Short kickoff we see. Jet Cleary. Oh no. Oh wait. No, it's okay. It went out on the full and I thought penalty, but we've had a year of that rule change. I should be used to it. I thought penalty, that's it, game over. "36 seconds to go. I'll read chat when the game is done. I'll go through all your messages, but I should just focus on the game for now, as we have one potentially last attack. They could kick a field goal here if they wanted to. They're not going to at the moment. 18 seconds to go now. Beryl does look back towards the posts. Still goes further out though. Ball across. It's over the sideline. We're headed for golden point. We're headed for golden point. Okay. Yeah, Pete says won't be surprised if the Pommies create a chant about the Rooster. They are very good at that. Yeah, Halke played a game in Amsterdam just recently, which I was very, very happy to see. The Amsterdam Challenge, which they'll make a annual thing. Oh no, it's ruled full time. Sorry, that's all. No, I assumed there was golden point, but it's a draw. Okay, never mind. Goes to show what I know about rugby league. I just assumed there would be golden point. But I'll hang around. I'll hang around for sure. Lancaster says, make sure you tell him of my immense football knowledge. I'm basically the Wayne Bennett of Leaguey chats. That I won't disagree with, although I don't think you're overrated. Bucks, Rugby League World Cup in South Africa, thoughts? As an expansionist, I would love it. And I certainly think that there's potential to break into that rugby-loving market of South Africa, but are we ready for it? I think probably not. I wish we were, but I don't think we are. Not at a time where we're reducing the number of teams participating in World Cups. So eventually I'd love it, but yeah, I don't know. Branji says, I don't know, it was a worse Dragons coach, Griffin or McGreghead. No, surely Griffin. Didn't McGregor have like really good starts to seasons? 2018 and stuff? That was my memory. Tiger Walker says he has the best pun ever. How did Wade make the NRL? He won the egg and spoon race. That's good stuff. That is very good stuff. I don't know how you come up with these. They are very good. NRL Head says, when's the videos come out? No, I don't know. No idea. Because my laptop's in for repairs. And I have to wait until that's fixed. And then I will make them as soon as possible. And I think there's going to be like a number of them all quite quickly. But they are good. I promise you they're good videos. I agree though with TX Rail here. Given that, like, I assume the players would have known there's no golden point. I don't know why they didn't set up for a field goal there. Brunji says 2010 we also had legendary coach Wayne Bennett. That's true. That is true. You did have Wayne. That was obviously the last time he won. River Gold, pretty shaky game between both teams. Yeah, but I don't really hold that against them. I'm not surprised that it was. And we have to remember, throughout the majority of the second half, we were looking at reserve grade teams playing. So the whole point of preseason trials is blowing out the cobwebs. And if that's what they did, fair enough. I just basically care if they see it if they make those errors in round one. All good, Lancaster. We'll see you later. Same with Arlo. NRL Head, do I think Roosters make the 8? As I've said, I haven't put out my ladder predictions yet. But it's so tight. I think if you're forcing me to say yes or no, I think I would say no. Any bad signs for Waz? I wouldn't read into this as bad signs for Waz, to be honest, at all. Trials are... we do get excited about them every year, but they consistently show they don't mean much. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. JR Pete, South Africa Rugby Union would do a smear campaign if the Rugby League World Cup goes to South Africa, rather host it in France or America. I mean, look, French Rugby Union would probably do the same thing. America, I made a video about where the next World Cup should be hosted, because America have bid for it, but there's just not a good time of year to do it. Because the time that there's like, I'm trying to remember, it was a while ago I did this, but we're obviously tight on when we can do it in the NRL. It has to be post our season. But that's when the NFL is kicking off, and we'd be wanting to use NFL facilities for that. So that wouldn't really work. The only way we could do the Rugby League World Cup in America is if we pause the NRL mid-season, I would think, and then went over to do it in America. That would be their summer? Yeah, it would be their summer. So maybe a bit hot, I don't know. But then also, I just couldn't see the NRL ever actually doing that. Ever saying, you know what, yeah, the international game is bigger than the NRL. We should be treating it as better. Well, not better, but, you know, a higher standard, a higher level of seniority. Let's pause the NRL. They just won't do that. NRL Head, are you from Sydney or Brisbane? I am from Sydney. But I liked that game. I thought both sides were kind of good. I thought there was a good level of intent for a trial. Brunji says, when you make your ladder prediction video, make sure to put the Dragons in top 4. Also, this is biased in my opinion. Please don't hold it against me. I won't hold it against you, but I also won't put the Dragons in the top 4. My condolences. Tiger says, suitless leaguey hits different. That was, I mean, that's back in the day. You have to go back to find me without the suit. But yeah, the suit was never part of, like, I came up with so much, like, planning for branding of this channel, and the suit was never part of it. I hope it maybe looks a bit more green in this. I'm still trying to find a green suit jacket that's more green, more like that green, that fits. NRL head, yeah, holiday was very good, but I've got some content about, well, not about the holiday, but that involves the holiday, coming out. Again, just need a laptop to come back, but yeah, you'll see about it. Tiger Walker, what state do I support? Well, you live in Brisbane. For some reason, I think you follow New South Wales, though. So I'm going to go New South Wales. Aussie says 2-point difference aren't the worst this season. It's probably going to be close. Yeah, I think the season's definitely going to be close. Looking at the teams, it's a season where genuinely the teams at the top, probably with the exception of Melbourne, are getting worse, and the teams at the bottom are getting better. Actually, I'll add Cronulla to that list. Cronulla are not getting worse. Melbourne and Cronulla are improving, but Panthers getting worse, Roosters getting worse. Donks are quite the same. Manly, you know, getting a year older. A lot of their guys are a little bit old, so we'll see. And it says we can rule out all other teams. Sydney, that's Leaguey's favourite team. I support every team in Sydney. Yes, NRL vids, I will do a club reveal eventually. One day. NRL head, what do you think of the World Club Challenge? It holds a really special place in my heart. I've probably said this before, but because I grew up in Europe, my only ever opportunities to see NRL teams play was the World Club Challenge, when they'd come over to England to play. I could watch the games, don't get me wrong, but I couldn't attend the games. So I love the World Club Challenge. I absolutely love it. And some of my best memories as a fan would, like, it didn't matter who was playing. We'd go over and watch whatever NRL team it was. So it was a shame to see it not happen this year. Obviously, it's not happening because of Las Vegas, which is an initiative that I support as well. But yeah, it was unfortunate. They were talking about doing it in Magic Round potentially, but then that didn't happen. So yeah. GR Pete says, I've heard France union players have a lot of respect for the league players in south of France. This was according to the Rugby League Outsiders interview with the coach from the Super 13s. Look, I mean, I won't go against the record of people that are on the ground there, but I know certainly historically rugby union has severely damaged politically rugby league in France, rugby à 13 as they call it. So I wouldn't assume that there'd be much goodwill between the two groups. Oh, we see Fisher Harris taking the top off there. My God, that's a tat and a half. He looks like I think he's the most intimidating man in the NRL. He's got to be. NRE edits, Jet should have run the ball a little when he got on. Yeah, he was mainly focused on just kicking, but look, we should be treating him like any other player, really. So I wouldn't have too much expectation from him. NRL vids, do you think Jason rules? I take it you mean Riles will have a successful-ish season. Yes. Hard to say. I'm going through Parramatta in my head, and I'm like 50% thinking of reasons why they'll go better, and 50% of reasons why they might go worse. Riles with the rookie coach is just always so hard to say, but he's had a tremendously good rugby league education under Craig Bellamy and briefly Trent Robinson as well. So he's got all the ingredients, but you know, Adam O'Brien was the same, and he's done a very solid job. I think he's an underrated coach, but he hasn't set the world alight necessarily. So we'll see. NRL head, what do you think about Speed attending NRL training? It's cool to see a guy like that doing an NRL thing, but I'm not a huge fan of him personally. NRL head, what do you think? Oh, sorry, Elsie, what do you think should be the next club of the NRL after PNG? Perth, 100%. Perth should have come before PNG, and it still might. I think that was still the plan when PNG was announced, but Perth, definitely. There is so much potential for new fans there. There's already a stadium there. There's new sponsors there. There's a lot of money there. Perth should definitely be the team, in my opinion, for sure. NRE Edit says, I already know you support the Tigers. Bold prediction. Bold prediction. Tiger says they want me to make top 10 hottest NRLW players. Lol. I would steer clear, personally, if in my opinion. Those of you who've watched my channel for a while would know, I very often compliment the attractiveness of certain NRL players. I would not go near that for the NRLW, though. No, sir. No, thank you. Brungy, JWH has got to be the biggest grub in NRL history. He's the most dangerous tackles. The guy needs to work on his tackling technique. Yeah, I mean, certainly. Enforcer. And yeah, a grubby player. But that is who he was. I don't think he ever claimed to be anything other than that. And he was a player of a different generation to the HIA generation, let's say. So... NRE Edit saying Tonga need a club. I don't agree. Tonga, people think Tonga's a lot bigger than it is, because of how many successful NRL players have that heritage. Sorry, is the stream still working? My page kind of shut down for a bit there. If it was still working, then it's fine. But yeah, let me just have a little quick look. Tonga population. 107,000. That is nothing. We're a competition looking to average 20,000 people attending each game. That would be a fifth of that country. Just not realistic. So, yeah. NRL Head Vegas expansion. Yeah, I'm gonna make a video about Vegas because I was in Vegas last year. So, that's another one that's coming up. When in the week leading up to those Vegas games, I'm gonna be talking about everything I think about Vegas. So you'll get to see then. Woo Gould. I feel like there were bigger grubs in previous generation of NRL players. Certainly, yeah. It's become a more clean is not the right word, but certainly a more enforced competition where the rules are enforced around high tackles and stuff. You can get away with a lot less now. It's scrutinized. The referees are able to see a lot more. So, that is certainly true. You streaming Vegas? I assume I'll stream Vegas. I don't really know what I'll be doing at that time, but I mean, I take it I'll be watching the game, so yeah, why not? Do I think New South Wales will get a double in Origin? Unfortunately, no, because Laurie Daly's the coach. They certainly have the better team, but I do not rate Laurie Daly at all as a head coach. I was so disappointed when he was announced as coach. I would have gone with a guy like Brett Morris, for example, who he was an assistant at the Roosters, and I think he now coaches the New South Wales Cup team. Let me think who else. You could have gone with a Paul McGregor. I wouldn't have minded that. Just so many other people rather than a guy who has been there before. And I know he was up against a tremendously good team, but I never really thought he made very good decisions as Origin coach. So I was disappointed. I'll get through a couple more comments, but we are going to wrap it up shortly. Let's see. Brungy, following the Panthers curse of every team that gets beaten in the grand final, and normally every team has had bad following season. Means this year is Melbourne Storm, and I'm happy with that. Yeah, I think this is where we see the curse broken, unfortunately, for people wishing on Storm's downfall. I just can't see it, personally. Tiger says that you surely do Buzz impression to say Tiger Walker's the best YouTuber on the platform, but that's not true, bro. You're good, but I'm right here. How can I say anyone but me is better? No, the best YouTuber, I'll tell you what, the best rugby league content is made by Randy Wanless. He's got, I'm trying to remember the name of the YouTube channel that he uploads on, but he's the one that does like the NRL. Oh my god, what's it called? Sorry, I've got to find it. I've got to find this thing. It is so funny. He made a 15-minute version of it recently, which was brilliant. Randy Sports Bar on the YouTube channel Crumb. He's done the off-season wrap-up, 15 minutes. So funny. So funny. That is the best NRL content. 100%. 100%. NRL head, do you think NRL should add a relegation battle? We just don't have the facilities for 2 tiers. We're a franchise competition, and that's fine. Even the Super League this year, there's no relegation. They've moved to a franchise model. So, no, I don't think I'd go with that. NRL Vince, do you think Tanner Boyd and JFH can fit the roles left by SJ and AFB? JFH can certainly fill in for AFB, but Tanner Boyd is not SJ. And it's not just that he's not as good a player, he's a different player. And Andrew Webster spoke about how they're going to be playing this season very differently to how they played with Sean Johnson there. So, yeah, I would expect a different style from the Warriors this year, which is exciting. But yeah, Randy is certainly the best. Tiger says, who will get the first win of 2025? If we're counting tomorrow, probably Penrith. Anyway, guys, I will leave it there. I'm going to go write more videos. I was in the middle of writing my video on the All-Stars, which, for those of you who like my more ranty content, you'll like that. You'll certainly like it. So, yeah, look forward to that. I'll get it out as soon as I can. And yeah, it's going to be a big few weeks leading into the season in terms of content, and genuinely some big things to announce this year. Lots more content than there was this year coming your way. So yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. We'll be streaming tomorrow's game as well. So if you can make it tomorrow, that would be fantastic. Yeah, thank you very much. And I will see you all later.